what's up? Today I want to show you my recipe for a smaller loaf Greek-style village bread, or the choriatiko psomi. This recipe is the same great flavor, just a smaller loaf, especially times like these where things are a little weird and we're not getting together and everybody's kind of keeping to themselves. This recipe is ideal. Also, it's perfect for someone who's on their own or has only got a couple of people in the house and you still want to enjoy your bread. This is the recipe for you. And like most typical bread recipes, they usually are around the 400, 500, 600 gram weight size for flour, a kilogram. This is very simply 250 grams of flour. So to start us off, I'm going to take 170 milliliters of warm water, very simple. I'm going to take 2 teaspoons of yeast. The dry active yeast is going to go in here, along with 2 teaspoons of sugar. Very simple. Nothing to this at all. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab a fork and I just want to stir it up just a little bit, and just enough to get that yeast going. Here's the thing with bread recipes. There's a lot of bread recipes out there that are no need, very simple, blah, blah, blah. I think no matter what, you're still gonna have to knead the bread at least a very small amount, or a little bit. Like you can't just, just mix everything in a bowl. I think for some reason it's never worked for me personally, but then again, that's just me. So my yeast is actually starting to froth already. So I'm just going to take it and I'm going to pour it into my mixing bowl here. Nothing to this. I'm going to take some Greek extra virgin olive oil, maybe a couple, 3 tablespoons of my oil is going to go in as well. And my 250 grams of flour. Very easy, nothing to this. Drop it down, lock and load, and slowly just start mixing this up. The mixing process here is going to take about 8 to 10 minutes, 15 minutes depending, and basically the dough will be ready once it starts pulling away from the sides of your bowl. All right, been about 10 minutes, give or take. My dough is ready. Look how cute that is. It's like the cutest thing. Now, show you what I mean about, let me just put a little bit of flour here on my work surface. My bread dough now, look at this. Isn't that the cutest thing you've ever seen? Just put it down there. Take a little bit more flour, throw it in there. Now let me show you my bowl. See what I mean? Completely clean. Pulled away, nothing to this at all. So, let's leave that there. Now, kneading. You're gonna have to knead bread a little bit. I'm not saying you're gonna need to kind of work the heck out of it, but any dough that's got gluten in it, you're gonna have to stretch those glutens and get them going. So just pull it, just like that. And this doesn't have to go for hours. Just very simply, just do this. I know my yeast is working as well because my dough is actually quite warm. So now I'm just going to grab a little bowl here, not that little. I'm going to take a little bit of my Greek extra virgin olive oil, just a little bit. Throw it in there, just like that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cover this up with a little bit of cling wrap and then a blanket. The trick to this is the first proof, or the first rise, has to be at least an hour and a half to 2 hours. I'm going to set this aside for a couple of hours and then we'll take it from there. All right, it's been a solid couple of hours now. And as you can see, let me move this out of the way. My dough is pretty much doubled, if not more, in size. I mean, look at this. What an absolute beaut. So this is the part here where we call the punch down stage, where you actually kind of form a fist with a little flour, of course, and punch this down. You're gonna put a little flour on your board and on your hands. And what we're gonna do is really quickly knead this. Now, when you punch it down, I meant just to get the air out of it. You're not collecting a debt. It doesn't owe you money, so you don't have to hit it that hard. And what you're gonna do is just add a little flour here and just fold this a couple of times. That's all you have to do. And this will come out perfect. And this isn't exactly a huge loaf of bread either. Let me share my little trick with you and tip. We're going to let this now rest for another half hour or so. The trick to why I have always amazing bread without fail is I preheat my oven to the lowest possible setting. In my case, it's 170 degrees Fahrenheit. Now, when my bread goes in there and all of a sudden the door closes, I'm going to turn off the oven. Through that half hour, 45-minute little rest period, my bread will rise and proof again, and it will be like the absolute ultimate bread. It's going to be light inside, and I can't wait to show you. So, just like this, nothing to this, I'm going to take a parchment-lined flat pan and just kind of make it out, roll it out like that. Doesn't have to be perfect, just the way it is. I'm going to take a really, really sharp knife, preferably non-serrated, and what I'm going to do is just make scores, just like that. They don't look like much now, but once it swells up again, you're going to know what I'm talking about. So I'll see you back here in about half an hour. All right, so my bread is done its second proof or its rest. It's been in there for about 45 minutes. It actually looks really, really, really good. Perfect. See where the slits opened up as it expanded? This is a smaller size loaf. Perfect for a couple, 3, 4 people if you don't want to have leftovers and stale bread. The next step is to preheat your oven 375 degrees Fahrenheit or about 180 degrees Celsius. This is where we're going to bake off our bread and all the magic is going to happen. Now, to doll it up, what we're going to do is I'm going to take a little bit of just water and a brush and just brush the top with water. Why am I doing this? Because I want to add some sesame seeds to my bread. I want to keep this sort of traditional. And by doing that, it adds a little bit of elegance and a little bit of beauty to your loaf as well. And it bakes off so much better. So perfect, just like that. You're going to take just a few and just sprinkle them. You can even leave this step out. You can put poppy seeds here. You can do whatever you like. So perfect, just like that. Boom, done. Now, you're going to put this into our 375 degree oven for about 45 minutes. Keep an eye on it. You want that golden brown color, that GBD that we always look for. And once you do that, you'll be perfectly ready to go for one of the best breads you've ever tasted. And it's showtime. This came out of the oven about 10 minutes ago. It took about an hour in total to bake off. But look at this. Let me just move this out of the way here a little bit. It's the moment of truth. Actually, what the hell? Forget the knife. Look at this. Look at this, my friends. Absolute perfection. Isn't this like the cutest thing? This little loaf. It's like amazing. Oh, oh my God. This crust is like, This is so delicious. Really light and fluffy and airy on the inside. Super crispy and crunchy on the outside. So my friends, that's it for this episode on my recipe for a smaller loaf bread. It's a Greek style bread, beautiful, delicious, and really not that complicated at all to make. 250 grams of flour, 170 milliliters of warm water, 2 teaspoons of dry activated yeast, 2 teaspoons of sugar, and a teaspoon of salt. Oh, and a splash of Greek extra virgin olive oil. And you have a recipe that's amazing. So, I thank you so much for watching. I appreciate your time. If you like this video, smash that like button and subscribe. Take care of each other. Take care of yourself. Be careful. And until next time, I will see you on the next one. Bye for now.